If you want drama and non-stop action and down-to-the-wire, last-minute theatrics, head to the United States Bankruptcy Court for the District of Delaware? Yes, do that. Today was a monumental day for Fisker owners, American Lease, and the future of Fisker, the car, and the company. Guys, this video is just a quick rundown. It's not really edited too much. It's just my commentary. I wanted you to know what I know as soon as possible. Thanks for your understanding. Let me know your thoughts and your questions and the holes in your knowledge in the comments, and I'll fill them in an upcoming video. American Lease, the buyer under that certain fleet sales agreement dated June 30th, 2024, hereby respectfully objects on an emergency basis to approval of the debtor's proposed combined Chapter 11 plan and disclosure statement, given that the debtors advised the buyer for the first time on October 4th that debtors cannot perform certain fundamental obligations with respect to buyer's operation of the purchased vehicles. The proceeds of sale payments must be held and segregated pending resolution of these critical issues. Buyer representatives were informed by debtors that operational control of the Fisker vehicles subject to the sale cannot, as a technical manner, be ported from the Fisker server to which the vehicles are currently linked to a distinct server owned and or controlled by the buyer. Holy moly. But of course we need to talk about today and what happened on the other end of this objection. And the objection is withdrawn because they came to a deal. American Lease is going to have to license the cloud for everybody, and there's a reason. FiskerInc.com is hardwired to the chip physically in these cars, and they cannot talk to another cloud. If the cloud is on another website, they can't reach it. So it can be split into sections under FiskerInc.com, but it has to go to FiskerInc.com to access that. That's the whole problem. They couldn't port these cars because they're all stuck on this one website. Well, now that has been fixed because American Lease now actually has the license that they originally signed up for back when the deal was approved for the fleet sale. In addition to essential cloud control, the FOA will now gain access to the vehicle's core software, the Fisker After Sales Tool or FAST, an engineering help desk, and the capability to phase out or upgrade outdated features. And it's the first connected fleet of electric vehicles in history that will be entirely owner controlled. There's $500,000 a year for 5 years, and it's not over after 5 years. Another license and more detailed information will be delegated at a later time, but at least for now, we know that for 5 years, $500,000 a year is going to be paid for this cloud to stand up. And who's going to pay for that? It's actually going to be Fisker Ocean owners. So you can do that math on your own, but the FOA is totally on board with this because the number was way higher a couple days ago. It also doesn't take away the IP from Heights Capital. They actually still own Fisker, the IP, which is a roadmap to a vehicle. That word was used in court, and also the ability to sell Fisker to somebody else. Now they'll have to stand up their own cloud and make their own vehicles and their own factories in the event that somebody wants to purchase that, and nobody knows if anybody will. Nobody has up to this point. That's why we're in bankruptcy court. So what do you end up with? You end up with American Lease having control of this cloud that will split between the FOA and themselves and make sure that all these recalls will continue to go out and the fast tools will continue to work and the access will continue to be granted, and the cars can continue to be serviced and calibrated and other things. And obviously, if there's another recall, those can be added and implemented and programmed as well. That's really what we're working with here. All this documentation is going to come out Tuesday because this all came down literally to the last minute. There's people leaving the hearing and getting on the phone to do final negotiations. But it all worked out in the end for owners, and for Heights Capital, and for American Lease, and for the Fisker Owners Association. It was actually extremely professionally negotiated. There was definitely some frustration involved, and seemed like everybody was at odds with everybody at least one point or another. But the end result is extremely good for the future of Fisker. So owners, you can take kind of a big, deep breath as long as you don't mind thinking about the fact that this $20 a month to keep your car running, that's not going to be the deal. It's going to be more. What you're going to have to pay is some kind of nominal fee. If you consider between $0 and less than $100 a month to be nominal, you'll have to negotiate with T-Mobile. That'll be done either through the FOA or outside of the FOA, but somehow. And then you'll also have to make sure that you get some kind of navigation. We don't know how that's going to work either, or whether the TomTom deal is completely dead, or whether they'll renegotiate, or whether they're going to go with something else. But the freedom for that to be done, something else that is available now, because American Lease will be able to manipulate the cloud to get something like that going, and the FOA can benefit from them. American Lease is not running away with this deal either. They're putting the money up initially, they're putting their credit at risk, and they negotiated basically on behalf of the owners and themselves. They're a business, they're out to make profit. This was done so they could execute their license, number one, and number two, owners would be able to benefit and piggyback off that access being moved to some kind of access level that can be negotiated. So answers for you, Fisker Ocean owners, and the cloud will be coming from the FOA soon, and they'll be able to work out exactly what they're going to do to charge everybody, how that will be done monthly, annually, whether anything else, T-Mobile, navigation services of some kind, TomTom will be wrapped into that, and it really opens up a lot of avenues. In fact, later recalls can be done, additional software updates can be executed. I'm not making any promises or saying that the future is golden forever if you're a Fisker Ocean owner, but in the end, this is going to allow a lot of people to get the access they need, anywhere from owners to service people to American Lease, and there's some other surprises I've got in the pipeline that we'll talk about in future episodes. If you have questions, please let me know down in the comments. I have been in contact with American Lease, and everything that I am saying I will stake my reputation on has been verified and is true to the extent of my understanding. I wanted to make this quick, I wanted to make it easy to understand, and I wanted you to go on with your weekend with a little bit of kind of a thumbs up as far as your Fisker goes. Make sure you join Patreon or become a YouTube member if you'd like early access to this kind of stuff. Subscribe for more. I really appreciate it. We'll see you on the next one.
Hey, smash the like button.
Thank you.